Whatever we perceive, if it is pleasant upon our senses, we experience it one way. And what we perceive, if it is unpleasant upon our senses, then that is what in our experience becomes filth. If our surroundings are not pleasant upon our senses, the images that we create in our mind is unpleasant. Or to take charge of the seat of experience so that you can consciously generate the nature of your experience. So generally in the yogic culture, in the yogic sciences, we look at life as a composition of 5 basic elements: earth, fire, water, wind and space. In this, fire is a very important aspect of making this life. So, fire is seen as a significant element which makes life happen. It's not the only thing, all the 5 are important. But when it comes to warding off things, fire is always very important. So this is part of it. Every day in your life, you must light an oil lamp and stay in its presence for a period of time because it'll ward off many things, it'll cleanse many things for your system. This is a very important part of, warding off infections and things like that. If it is airborne, especially if it's airborne, having fire around you will help. There must be some kind of a lamp burning around you somewhere close by. This will do wonders to you. Please experiment and see. Being in the presence of that fire makes a big difference. The science of yoga clearly establishes this, and we know this by our experience. By having a small piece of fire in the form of a lamp burning around you, you will see, especially when you're physically not well, it is very, very important to have that. So creating a clean atmosphere is a natural consequence of people turning spiritual. As a part of this, we have done a lot of work. In the yogic culture, shaucha is an important aspect of one's spiritual development. Both physiological and the surrounding spaces, being in a state of shaucha is very important because our cleanliness is not just within the body. Everything that we perceive through sense organs can either create filth or well-being within ourselves. The biggest lapse is there is no system to deal with the garbage that is generated in any living society. And of course, we have the problem of multiplying population, but this can be dealt with only if there are very strong, non-religious spiritual movements in the country so that people understand life is about keeping yourself clean. When this idea sinks deep into you, wanting to keep the surroundings clean is a natural consequence of this. In Indian culture, there is a whole attention to the shape and size of the room in which you live, because the shape and size of the room in some way, if it is not heavily ventilated, when I say heavily ventilated, from both sides 2 walls are open and it's happening, then it feels almost like outdoor. That's different. Most homes are not made this way. So, different shapes and sizes kind of create different kinds of energy structures. These energy structures can, if they become very strong, can determine your psychological and emotional state, which either can be conducive or can become an impediment in who you want to be. So, certain substances, like sandal in India, there is something called as samrani, which is a very powerful thing, which is used even when people are ill. First thing they do is this, and it is now been found it also kills certain types of bacteria in the air and also on the surfaces. So especially if there is a sick person in the house, Samrani everywhere.